guys, Ramblin Bob here again. So I was just snooping around Pecron's page, and I noticed today, I don't know if it was today or recently this week and I just missed it, but I noticed this morning that the EP3000 batteries are now for pre-order. So that is for the new systems like the E1500 LFP, and I believe the E3600 LFP when that comes out. I'm assuming that they're going to use the same batteries. I think they're all migrating to the 48 volt battery packs. But if you go to the power stations here, they normally have about 8 pictures. But notice if you go one more, look at, they have 9, and that's the newest one. So the EB3000, this is the one that goes to the E2000 LFP, and the EP, the Eric Paul 3000 expansion battery, which is 3072 watt hours. It's the same exact box, except it's wired in a 48 volt system, and that way you're able to push a little bit higher power out of it. With not stressing the batteries so much. From a 24 to a 48 volt system is much easier to hook also to an RV system, because this E1500 LFP I believe has a 12 volt 30 amp output, and it doesn't put as much strain on the batteries of what I understand. So right now the EB3000 is $1,400, but the EP3000 new one is only $1,299. So that's positive. That means that you know, the same watt hours is $100 less than the traditional one. Let's look at it, because this is the first time I've actually seen the specs on it, and this is basically my baseball card stats here. I love looking at these. Let's check out the pictures real quick here. So it's basically the same. Same setup as the other one. You have 2 little caps. I do so far like the little caps better than the EB3000. I love the right angle cables. That makes a much cleaner look where you don't have these big, you know, these arcing cables sticking out. So that's a positive. I can't wait to try those. Hopefully these are flexible, so that, you know, it can have a little bit of bend in there, and they're not just, you know, a hardwired 90-degree angle. But everything else looks, everything else looks about the same, other than the cables. But that's a very clean look, guys. Very clean look. And that's, you know, one of the biggest problems with expanding battery systems is those darn cables, they stick out so far. Even Bluetti has the problem with these big, you know, crazy cables, you know, sticking out 2 feet sometimes. Okay, so we have 3072 watt hours, which is 51.2 volt. Battery configuration at 60 amp hours. Lithium iron phosphate batteries, of course, with 3,500 plus life cycles to 80%. Now that's much better than the lithium ion battery packs that are usually 500 to maybe 1,200, depending on, you know, how you use them, somewhere in there. So you get up to 5 times the cycle on average with lithium iron phosphate batteries. So that's a very good reason to consider these batteries over lithium ion. Plus the safety, guys. These don't, you know, they start on fire and explode like lithium ion. It's very, very hostile chemical mix as far as the battery composition. So you have your AC adapter charging, solar charging, and car charging. So that's probably all going to be the same. Can be used alone as a DC output, which means you can use this as a power station itself for DC only. If it does have the 12 volt 30 amp out, you could hook an AC power inverter to the battery and then use it that way, the same as you would use an AC inverter off your car battery. Can't wait to see if that's possible. Your solar input is 400 watts max, 15 amps at 12 volts to 95. So everything on the input side is the same as the EB3000s. Here's your car input, which is 12 volt DC to 48 volt DC. Now that's cool, because you could have oversized alternators, or some people have, like, you know, those really big trucks like semis and stuff, where you have your DC systems are just way bigger than normal, because you're running like DC heaters and all kinds of other things like that, not a traditional car. Your DC output now is your XT60 30 amp max. That's a good connection, guys. So if you're able to pull out 30 amps out of that port, I'm assuming that's a 12-volt port, but as I said, until we actually see the actual hardware, we have to, you know, guess. That's awesome because you can run diesel heaters off something that strong. And then you have your power delivery port, which is a USB-C, and that's 100 watts. I would like to see an input-output power delivery port. Those of you who knows what I'm talking about, that is a bidirectional USB-C power delivery port that could also accept 100 watts input as well as output. That would have been cool to have that. That way you can kind of, you know, put a little bit of extra power in through that, you know, that way if ever need be. You also have a USB-A. Now that seems, I think that's different. I don't recall there being a USB-A. Hold on one second. Let me go over to mine and let me look at my EB3000s here. I don't recall them having a USB-A port on this guy. Oh, yep. Sure, there sure is. Okay, so I've never used it other than to test it when I first got it, so I don't recall it being there. But yep, it's there. Okay, and then you have the car charging max pieces, which is the 7,680 watt hours, is 2 batteries, guys. So once again, we're kind of stuck at that 2 battery limit, which will bring this up to just under 8,000 watt hours. It's 8 kilowatt hours. I would have loved to have seen this system be put up to about 12 or even 16 if you could stretch the you know, the batteries that far. But for safety, I guess they limited it to 2 batteries plus the main system again. That would have been really cool. Hopefully the E3600 LFP will have 4 batteries. That's what I was told, but like I said, until we see it, you know, I always look at it just as a wives' tale until I actually see the hardware. Let's see here. Oh, and then that's it. There's no reviews or anything, obviously, because it's all on pre-order. And that is, oh, here's some more description here. Let's see if anything's different. Nope, same stuff. Okay, so we don't really have that much more. It says the EP3000 48 volt is expansion battery to use for the E1500 LFP and the E3600 LFP, and cannot be used with the E2000 LFP. Guys, I have to stress this a lot. This is a 48 volt battery pack. Do not hook this to your E2000 or you will have a bad day. Hopefully they're different cables. Let's hope that Pecron changed the cable configuration as far as the ports. You know, if you put a 110 volt in a 220, obviously you have a bad day. So let's hope they change it so people don't make that mistake. I'd hate to hear that. And it says the EP3000, it's on its way to California, is expected to arrive in California warehouse for shipment by the end of September. So it's coming, guys. So I just want to make a video. I just saw it this morning, like I said, and I'm excited because any new product I'm happy to test and review, and I want to grow my watt-hour battery bank as big as you can, and that we have tons of power in case you ever need it. Alright guys, ramble on, be safe, and please put your comments on what you think about the new system. Are you waiting for the E3600 LFP like I am, or would you like to test this one too? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Alright guys, ramble on, be safe, and I'll see you next time on Ramblin Bob Reviews. Bye guys!